The time is now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to NUFC Talk. We are live on the radio, on YouTube, and everywhere else that you can listen to us on every online radio directory. We are live on the YouTube side of things, of course, and once again on DAB in Newcastle upon Tyne. So, what a hiding. what a proper hiding. What a humbling match for Newcastle United. We weren't up for it. We weren't in the game at all. From the get-go, really. It's as simple as that. I mean, it was easy to see. It wasn't going to be a good one. Matter of fact, after the first goal, it was done and dusted, to be fair. After the first goal, we said it earlier today, whoever scores the first goal is basically going to set the tone. And they so easy, got that job done. And from then on, it was just downhill. It wasn't good at all. It was not good whatsoever. Very concerning. This is very, very, very concerning because now you got a game like this to get eliminated from the Carabao Cup like this so easy, and then. I know people don't look at it really serious sometimes, but that conversation at the end with Guardiola and Tonali, that means a lot. If you really want to think about it, that means a lot. Because if they really want him, they're gonna get him. That's how simple it is. And it's a bigger problem. That's why all these, you can win against Brentford 3-1 and win will be here, jumping up and down and excited because we're back and all that rubbish. At the end of the day, you cannot lie to the players, to the fans. Some want to be lied to, and that's fine. But the ones that don't want to, you can't lie to them. The project, football-wise, we don't know what's going on in the back room. You know, the CEO spoke earlier about what's going on, what he expects us to be in 2030 and all that. And that can happen. Absolutely, it can happen. However, right now, there's no denying that the football side of things looks very, very, very dire. We are in dire straits, as Mark Knopfler once would say. And I don't know what to make of this. Quite honestly, this is a result that might want to ask you a question about what's happening tomorrow morning. So it's a very, very, very tough result and tough pill to swallow. This one. If Eddie didn't win the Carabao Cup, let's be fair, he would have been gone a long time ago. Unfortunately, that's the way things go in football. That has given him credit with some fans, but man, I don't know. I don't know how long it can keep going anymore. But I do want to say thank you, Random Access, for the super chat. He has to go. Let's just get it done. Thank you very much for that £10 super chat, mate. And you, as a fan, as a Newcastle United fan, can call us now and have your say. 0191-916-8864. Call us now and have your say. Watch your language, of course, because I know it's a bad defeat, but watch your language. Keep it clean, and you can have your say, whatever you want, as far as the team is concerned, manager is concerned, whatever is concerned. So have a go. 0191-916-8864. Boki, let me hear from you actually first. What do you think of the game?
No, I don't think anybody went into that. Oh, sorry. Is my mate working?
You got it. You got it. Yeah.
I think we all went into the game expecting that we weren't going to get through. You know, that I don't think there was many fans that went in thinking we're going to get through this. But it was the manner of the way we didn't get through, the manner of the defeat. You know, it was lackluster. It was limp. It was poor. You know, we didn't go at them from the start. You know, we didn't attack them. We sort of sat back and allowed them to come on to her. Which, I mean, don't get us wrong, with Man City, they're always going to be able to do that to you. But the way we played allowed them to do that as well. So why didn't we just go for it? Just, you know, chuck a few extra forwards on and, you know, absolutely go for it. And it was so disappointing in that, as I say, if we'd lost the game, even if we'd lost the game by more goals, but we'd done it in an attacking style in regards to trying to get back into the cup tie, it would have been more palatable. But the way we
Mm.
did it, just sort of we allowed them to attack us, and the inevitable happened. If you let Man City come on to you, they're going to score. And at half time, why swap with Premier League players? We know our squad's threadbare at the minute. Why didn't he chuck the youngsters on? I know people will say, oh, you don't want to chuck them on during a defeat, and then we'll get worse and worse and worse. But God's honest truth, the scoreline in the second half didn't really matter. We were out the cup by that point. Why didn't he put the youngsters on and say to them, look, I'm not going to hold you responsible for what's happening in this game, but, this is your debut, go out and just have a run around, prove yourselves. And we didn't do any of that. Why didn't he put the youngsters on, Win?
Yeah. When you have your say, let's go with because we got the phone
I'm
line.
in jail because I'm going to start talking utter nonsense. But the reason he didn't put the youngsters on was simply you don't throw them into the fire. We've got a couple of super chats anyway.
Yeah, going with the super chats. Tomeo says
$7.77. There's a funny one. Never mind. Thank you very much, Tomo. The problem is bigger than Howe. I don't trust these suits at all, especially that CEO who did nothing for my Knicks. So he's a New York Knicks fan.
Was it there?
And Wazza is saying, Bogey, I need a cuddle mate. So sad, so wanting love.
There you go. Thank you very much, Waza. Win, quickly, have your say about this. We got the phone. The phone line is chocker at the moment.
Yeah, well, it was poor, wasn't it? It was poor. Like I said, normal service was resumed. We didn't finish our dinner. It could have been different, but it wasn't. And the gameplay especially, just, not winning the ball in melees in midfield at all. The blue shirts were always coming out with that ball if it was a 3-4 man kind of scrum situation with the ball bouncing around. Until there was a little spell in the second half when we started winning. That was when we were creating the chances, of course. And that's what you've got to do. But the gap between the back line and the midfield was it was like the Atlantic Ocean. Not good enough. Not good enough.
All right, not good enough. That for certain. RG Fox calling us from Ashington now. RG, how are you, mate?
Not so bad. How are you doing, lads? You all right?
Well, we're getting through.
As can be expected under the
mate.
Yeah, nobody in their right mind expected us to go in there and finish that game. That game was finished back in St. James's Park, man. Easy, man. If you went there and thought we were going to day out, you rang in your bloody mind. Simple as that. We were away from form and we're injuries. With Bruno missing, we haven't won a game. And just look at the stats. We ain't gonna day no. But I get what Berkey's saying. Put the young ones on. I wouldn't have put the young ones on from the start because that's too much of a game for them, if you know what I mean. But you've got to bring them on in the second half to give them experience and legs and that. You got to. No, you can shake your head all you want. You know what I mean. But
no, I'm agreeing with you, mate.
I thought there was positive with the game. I thought the 6,000 travelling fans were magnificent. That's positive. I thought Ramsdale makes some canny saves. I thought Elanga opened up his legs, and he gets better every time I see him. And Ramsey, every time I see him, has a better game. Now, don't get us wrong, lads. We've got a long way to go. It's Man City you're playing. They're not bands. They're a very good team. They can say Eddie in, Eddie out, all they want. He's not moving at this time. But I believe in the back of the club, there is somebody else coming in. That's why they've not spent any bloody money this transfer window, because it's going to be a big book for him or some bugger else that comes in and replaces him. Simple as that. What do you reckon?
Well, as regards sacking Eddie tonight because of that result, that's just nonsensical. You didn't get sacked for losing.
It is, Nunza. It is. That is absolutely atrocious. If he got sacked for that tonight, I would be in a fury.
Yeah.
No, hold on though. Hold on. I'm not. Nobody's asking. Nobody's asking Eddie Howe to get sacked. However,
everybody in the chat's been asking for Eddie.
Well, listen. Everybody's in the chat. They're fans and they're angry. So mind them. How about that? Let the fans be who they want to be.
Two-legged semi-final.
The only problem is how. You cannot forget how we didn't fight from minute 0 to minute 90 plus. We didn't fight. Not 1 minute. We didn't fight. And that's something that no matter who if you play against Bradford City tomorrow, if you don't fight, you lose. So that's the problem.
The thing is, you can take it two ways, Chris. If you fight against a team like Man City, if you fight a fight, put on a big, massive physical challenge against Man City, they'll beat you. They'll beat you by Rowland Doon and all that. They'll knock you up that way. Remember, there is a couple of times where we could have get stuck in, or you stand off. Some of these players are unbelievable that Man City's got. Have a look at that Tory that just come on. But even before that, man, they've got some unbelievable players. Them lads, they're much better than all that. Mm-hmm. Then, and I'm not just talking about physical heart and all that. I'm talking about talent. We've got lads that can run all day. But Ronaldo, without trying to trap a ball or pass it backwards behind a player every bloody time, it knocks my end in.
Yeah.
And it knocks my end in and all.
Olusala with the super chat there. I think it's obvious we are not a 4-tournament team. We just don't have the squad for this level of competitions.
No,
thank you very much,
100%, Chris. 100%.
So, no, that's from Olusala. Super Sam can't play trips and burn. We had better options, says Super Sam. So, RG.
And before I go, lads, I'll just say this: I'm glad we're out of that competition. Just less games to play, and even if you did the miraculous of beating Man City, you're not beating Arsenal in the final. Sorry.
Well, they said that about the semi-final last year.
Well, yeah, we had it at Liverpool. That's
right. They said it about the final now, but this year's different. We're a different team last year.
We're a better team in that particular instance. RG, thank you for calling us, mate.
Yeah, I think we need to remember and respect that competition because it is the one we won last season.
Exactly. Yeah, we can't just rubbish it.
Let's not call it out completely.
We can't rubbish it. Call us now and have your say. 0191-916-8864. It is getting hot in the kitchen, ladies and gents. It is very, very hot at the moment. Newcastle United fans raging at the performance tonight. You cannot blame them. It's easy to come here and do the mighty win. You know, the fans are numpties. They're wrong. You know, how could you? No, it was a rubbish performance, man. And you got to call it out for what it is. When it was PSG, we played great in the second half. It looked great against PSG once again. And you were like, everybody together were like, amazing. That's an amazing performance. But against Man City, if it's bad, if it's horrible, you got to call it out. We got a new caller calling us now, and I'm no number. What's your name, mate?
Hello. You recognize me?
Oh,
again? Umar? Oh, the Toon Whisperer. Oh, man. How many numbers do you got, man? It's criminal. Anyway, what do you think about the game?
Pathetic.
We're going to have to raise you up. There you go. Speak up, man.
That's from minute 1 to minute 90, absolutely pathetic.
Yeah, it wasn't good at all.
We didn't do anything. Try and put pressure on them. We didn't do anything from minute 1 to minute 90 to try and do something.
Yeah, and the inconsistencies with this team is mind-boggling. To be fair,
Jordy Dan's in with a super chat there saying the inconsistency has all season. No excuses.
Yeah,
but Darren Mills with his super chat, thank you, Darren, is saying all the pundits and ex-Newcastle players back Eddie to the hilt. Lee Clark, one of the latest. That's good enough for me. Stick with Eddie, says Darren Mills.
Well, yeah.
Do you think he'll be gone? Eddie will be gone?
No, it is not going anywhere. Let's be honest. I mean, I understand the fans will have their opinion, but he's not going anywhere as far as the actual club making a decision. They're not. They're not going to do anything like that. And you would probably assume it would be a kind of a rash decision at the moment, because as fickle as we are, we'll play amazing with Brentford, beat them 3-4-0, and people will say, see, I told you, blah blah blah.
I like
So
the strikers on top form.
it's just it's a situation, but we are missing chances as well. I mean, when Ilanga came on, it was just he was making chance after chance. He missed one that was just bad. I mean, that could have maybe helped our momentum. And then the next one with Wissa, that's a tap in. And again, once again, the American Mag proven over and over and over, proven right. Because we don't have a Wissa problem. We don't have a Walter Mata problem. We have a team problem. As a team, we don't create. We don't create good opportunities for the center forwards to miss. Of course, that was a great opportunity for Wissa that he missed, but that's one. But that's one. Man, we can keep saying the same old thing, man. Bruno is just another human being. He'll have to leave at some point, and we're gonna have to get over it. We can't just keep on going about this Bruno. I don't want him to go, but we can't cater our team. Look at what's happening with Isak. Everybody goes on about we build our team around Isak. Well, he's gone now, and we're still whinging about it. It's supposed to just doing something about it. You know what I mean? And that's the outcome. Anyway, Omar, thank you for calling us, buddy. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.
Jody Dan.
Soon. There you go.
There saying pundits backed Steve Bruce too.
Ooh. No. The situation with that is, I don't listen. I've met a few now, and I don't. I'm everybody's friend. However, when you are in particular positions, it is hard to just say what you want to say. Once you meet certain people, it is hard to just say whatever with no repercussions or no, you know what I mean? It is. And so a lot of these guys might be friends of Eddie, who knows? And they don't want to rubbish their friend, so it's that situation there. They're just opinion. They're just opinions. Do we have a Super Sam chat there that we're missing out on? Can play trips. That's the last one he put out there. Can play trips and burn. We have better options. Yeah, we read that one. Unless we missed another one. No, that's it. Anyways, folks, send in your super chats. If you are watching on YouTube, you can do that, of course. If you are listening on the radio, Newcastle United eliminated from the Carabao Cup in a rather embarrassing way at the Etihad. That was an imtihad after they scored 3 goals. They were knackered. It was too cold. They're gone for a pint or they're gone for a kebab. That's. I mean, you can get angry all you want. You can get angry all you want, and that has that's probably not a good look. However, when you become successful, mate, it is what it is. Mighty Win in the 80s, he was a rich man. He never got in the bus, and now he's knackered and he has to get in the bus. It's just the way life goes. Warren Denning calling us now for the West End of the Toon. Warren, how are you, mate?
Hey everybody, I'm a bit upset tonight. I need Bokey. I need a cuddle, mate.
Well, you can talk to Bokey probably about that.
And I need a Bokey bear cuddle.
Yeah, well, you can talk to Bokey probably about that. What do you think about the game? What do you think about the game, though?
The game, it was just predictable, wasn't it? Really, we were all hoping for like a little bit of a oomph, but there wasn't any. And as soon as they scored that goal, well, that was it. Wasn't it really? So we're going to have to get back together again, and hopefully we can do some of it, for Brentford game, you know what I mean? So, because that's the home game, and then we're away, aren't we?
Yeah. Did you take any positives from the game whatsoever? Was there anything positive that you've seen come out of that the night?
Yeah. Elanga's goal. Yeah. Well, that was it.
Yeah.
Well, Ramsey
was crap.
It was good to see Elanga get onto the ball a little bit, wasn't it? And I don't even mind him missing chances, because at least he shows that he's beginning to get into the game. I think that's the first time we've actually seen him have an impact on a game.
It's a shame that he missed that chance when it got cut across for him, because that would have really set him up. That.
Yeah.
But like I said, the positives were hard to come by. But people were saying about like putting on the young ones and that, you know what I mean? But it's a funny one that as well, because you just kind of spoil them, aren't you? They're just going to end up.
I don't know about that, man. I mean, what would happen? You put a Shahar in them, and then what happens? The fans just say Shahar is rubbish, and Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah,
what's the repercussions, man? Players need to play. Players need to play when they get called to play, man. Get over it. Nobody sensible was going to call out a young player for just playing in a terrible game. So that I think that's a bit insulting to the fans as well. Like they're too thick to realize that this is not the young player's fault. You know what I mean?
And another thing as well, Chris, 6,500 fans down there. You know what I mean? We could have done it a little bit more for them, don't you think?
What are you going to do for
100% more for them, mate.
You
look at them fans.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? If you've got a heart, you've got a passion, and if you love the club, then you fight to the end. You show a little bit more. And Gordon is a bloody disgrace.
100%, mate.
Oh, by the way, that is something we're not talking about.
Get him out the club. I mean,
that is something that we're not talking about. That is something that we're not talking about, Warren. But you're 100% right. That right there. It just looked very, very, very suspicious, mate. That
was like at half time.
Let's just say
I've been taken off, so I'm not going to get as much as the blame. I can hide behind all the rest of them.
But when
a coward.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like on the face of it.
Do you know what, Warren? Do you know what, Warren? With that, if he'd got up and tried to sort of run it off or play on a little bit, I'd have more respect for him.
Yeah.
But he didn't. Yeah. He went down and that was it. He just went, "Oh, my hamstring, I'm coming off."
Well, except we saw Joey Linton do exactly that and made it 10 times worse.
Yeah.
But Win, how does he know he's pulled his hamstring at that point? I mean,
he doesn't know that.
That's what I'm saying. No. Let's just before we jump on.
No. But win. First of all, you'll never know the truth now, unless you'll never know the truth now because the club. What does the club want to say? The club is not going to say he's fine to play. It's even if he's not, he's going to get something, an X-ray or whatever. It's all PR at some point.
You can only say what you see, and what you see.
That's right. It looked dodgy. It looked dodgy.
What the punters are, paying the money for. And like I said, if I travelled all the way down to Manchester City tonight, and I seen that, I don't think I'd be very happy. Would you?
I think one thing to say, Warren, is if he was playing for England at that point, do you think he'd have done the same?
And by the way, what was the run? What was the play? Because the TV didn't even go back to see a play where he was, running and got hurt. Because I'm sure they looked for it, but they're just like, I don't know what happened.
Pulled out. He lost the ball and he pulled out of a situation, but he was walking all right. It was just all of a sudden he decided they were just down tools.
Well,
that's all it was. It's just down tools.
Certainly,
Doug Water is saying fake injury, and Ricky D is saying horrible player. Let's not talk about him. But we've got to talk.
If I was in that Newcastle team, I tell you what, if I was Dan Burn, I'd give him something to cry about.
Well, it may.
I'd make sure he did have a bloody injury.
Warren, thank you for calling us, buddy. I appreciate you. Thank you. We'll talk soon. Okay?
No problem, man.
All right. Have a good day.
Bye.
Have a good one. And that's what's going on, ladies and gents. Don't forget to smash the like button if you're a Newcastle supporter. Subscribe to the channel if you're on YouTube. If you're on radio, thank you very much for listening to us. And we got Richie waiting on the line. Wait for a second. Wait 1 second, Richie, as because I'm trying to get Eddie Howe's comments on the post-match comments. So let's see if we can listen to him.
No problem. Today, it was always going to be a tough challenge with that 2-goal deficit, but it felt like your team went out there really trying to get back into the game. What was the approach?
Yeah, the approach was to be brave, aggressive, try to attack, but obviously with balance. The first half was tough for us the minute they scored, really. I think that shook us to a degree. I don't think we responded very well to the goal, although saying that, I felt we had chances all through the game. So Joe Willock goes through near enough on a one-on-one straight after they score. So I think, again, it could have been very different. We're disappointed with how we defended in that first half. We were loose. The goals weren't anywhere near good enough from our perspective, and we got punished.
What did you say to your team at half-time when you were 3-0 down?
A mixture of things, really. I think it was more about us competing better with duels. I thought we were really poor. Ground duels, aerial duels, you can't do that here. I think against this team, if you're if you're not clinical in those moments, they're going to punish you, because they've got players, if they get the other side of you, you don't really get a second chance. So we were disappointed with our performance through midfield. Our backline was getting exposed. I don't think we defended those goal-scoring opportunities they had at all well enough. So yeah, very disappointed. Regrouped, made some changes, and we were much better in the second half.
The price of success is that you've been fighting on all four fronts up until today. In fact, today was your 38th game across all competitions. A lot of fans were hoping maybe reinforcements were brought in January. That wasn't the case. How much do you feel that may have impacted your performances over the two legs? Yeah, well, I think that was never going to be an option for us, really. Not with the restraints that we're working under. So I think from my side, when you know that going into it, it's something you condition your thoughts to accept. Maybe for the players it's slightly different. Maybe they're looking at it hoping that we can get a bit more support. I think the biggest thing for us is we get our injured players back fit as quickly as possible, rather than looking on the outside. We've got some really good players here. We are finding the schedule difficult. There's no denying that, with the injuries that I've mentioned, especially in our back line where we can't really rotate. So that's been an issue for us. But I think you saw again today a group that we're giving everything physically, maybe a little bit of fatigue in there with all the travelling that we've done in recent games. They did seem to be giving everything. How do you pick up your team after a tough loss like this?
Well, I think we have another massive game coming up in the Premier League. We're at home, so that will help us. And I don't think we need to be too hard on ourselves, although my nature is always to reflect and to be really honest. But I think with the amount of games coming in a quick period of time, I think it's a case of protecting the players' confidence and making sure next time we enter the pitch we're in a good frame of mind.
Wow. That is Eddie Howe, ladies and gents, speaking after the match. Again, doubling down on the restrictions, if you will, of Newcastle. Whether you believe in that or not, once again, coming out, he said it wasn't even a possibility. But then it's conflicting because the CEO come out earlier and says that we had many options, just not one that, basically we would like. So somebody is not telling the truth, and those are the conflicting comments. Who is it? It reminds me of the Paul Mitchell, Eddie Howe saga once again. One would come out, say one thing, the other one would rubbish it in the press conference, and something is going on in Newcastle United that we don't know. We have two super chats there, so go on, win with the Olusola.
So guys, for 3 seasons we've struggled with squad depth and injuries. It's a miracle what Howe has achieved. The problem is not coaching; it's ineffectual club leadership, says Olasula, and there was another one came in from Darren.
There you go. I want to answer that one.
So Chris, a proper Geordie is looking after his mates and basically telling lies.
No, that's not what I said, though.
Rubbish from you, man.
No, that's not what I said. I actually saw your earlier comment. I wanted to comment on that. I have a start, actually, to get back to. That's not what I said. I'm saying when you work in a corporation, when you work on TV, you can't just go out there and be a fan and say things, sack the manager, and he's rubbish and he's done. It's not the same thing. It's not the same setting. That's what I'm trying to say. And sometimes, when you do have a special someone that you have worked with and yet it's difficult saying he should be sacked or he should be gone or he doesn't know what he's doing. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not saying he's lying or they would lie. That's not at all. But I'm saying you got to put yourself in that situation. And again, I don't even know if they know each other. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it.
Clark's never worked with him.
I'm just saying that it could happen. And first of all, if you work in a big media corporation, you can't just go out there and say as you please. It's just as simple as that, mate. But I appreciate you anyway for the super chat, and I hope that clarification.
At the minute, as far as I know, so
and I hope that clarification clarifies my point. We got Richie calling us now from Newcastle. Richie, how are you, mate?
I'm fine, mate. How are you?
We're getting there. Well, we think
as well as can be expected under the circumstances.
All right. Well, before the game started, I had a feeling we weren't going to get out of it anyway, so I'm not surprised that way. But the first half was absolutely disgusting. There was we were like a blinking first division team, man. It was shocking. nobody can defend Eddie on that performance in the first half. It was absolutely terrible. And Gordon Gandoon, he's not injured. I will not have it that he's injured. There's no way on God's earth he's injured. You see how he got up and walked off the pitch? He was perfectly fine, man. He's got no kahunas at all. Shocking.
Yeah, it looks dodgy. It looks very dodgy. And knowing his history being a bit of a petulant player, you know, everything looks so weird about that particular play. First of all, TV couldn't find a replay of what happened, therefore they didn't put anything on there. He didn't even say, you know, I'm gonna see if I can walk.
I'll tell you what happened, mate. I'll tell you, he bottled it. That's what he done. He bottled it. He's just an absolute Mickey take, like you. And actually, before that happened, I was thinking to myself, he's not putting 100% effort in him. Like there was times where he could have definitely put more effort in. He wasn't, so he wasn't up for that game to start with, in my opinion. When we first kicked off, he was absolutely shocking.
Yeah, I mean,
Richie, I do have to pick up with you a little bit there in regards to. I do think in the first, before we conceded a goal, he did have a good little run. He was trying to get into spaces and do things like that. I think what he was trying to be was the hero of the game. So he in the first the first few minutes was thinking, if I score here, you know, I become the hero. Then I completely agree with you after that. Once he realised that there was no chance he was going to have an impact on the game, he sort of give up, and as you see, I mean that injury didn't.
Yeah, he hasn't got the skill for my liking. Yeah. But on a positive note, Elanga was absolutely brilliant again. Like, that's 2 games in a row where I've literally said he's been really good. I mean, that ball he put in for Wissa, how anyone got onto that one is beyond me. But on the flip side, how did he miss that easy chance, man? How did he, like, my grandkids could blink and score that, man? It was unbelievable. Yeah. So he's so frustrating. 1 minute you think he's playing brilliant, the next he misses the sitter. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, and those sitters, I mean, the Ilanga sitter and the Wissa sitter go in, you know, it could be a different game. You never know, but it could be a different, at least it would have been a different ending to the whole thing. Well, we'll never know, though.
Oh, we had plenty. We had not plenty, but we had enough chances to win the game. Now, whether we would have won enough to go through to the next round, that's a different matter. But we had enough to do well in the game. It was just we didn't put the chances away. But the first half was just unforgivable. And I just remember thinking to myself, just bring the young'uns on. I know it's not the right time, like Wynn thinks it's not the right time. But for me, it is. You rest all your better players for the Premier League. When you're that far behind, you're not going to come. Well, it was proof by the end of the game. We didn't come back. And the best decision, looking back now, would have been bringing the young'uns on.
Yeah. Very tough elimination. Richie, thank you for calling us, buddy. Appreciate you.
Cheers,
we'll
no worries. Take care, lads.
Cheers.
Super chats win.
What Captain Bruno is saying, free win. We need love and support tonight. Consider it.
He's not even in jail. He's not even in jail, though.
And Queenie is saying, how on earth is this performance defendable in any context whatsoever? And Sean is saying Gordon looked unhappy after 15 minutes. Fake.
Yeah, well, again, that's now going to be the focus of many discussions, ladies and gents, because, you know, I mean, it's going to be hard to prove. You can't prove it. But in the eye of the public, he is very much judged and sentenced.
Like.
Well, you wouldn't anyway, because he's your, you know, he's your favorite player all time.
It's an easy call to make.
No, it's not really. What do you mean it's an easy call to make, man? It's plain and obvious, really. I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened, but because we don't know. But
easy. If you're of that mindset, it's easy.
No, it's not. It's not though. No, it's not. It's not. But that's the problem. It's so easy for somebody of that mindset to just rubbish anything when it comes to one particular person. And everything he did, everything that happened leading up to that, it looks dodgy, man. And if I'm Eddie Howe, I'm having a conversation. If you are really not hurt. And Steve calling us now from County Durham. Steve, you wish you were a Mackham being in County Durham now, don't you?
No, I've already told you the River Derwent runs into the Tyne. I've made this black and white. I've already told you that.
There you go.
Mackham rubbish.
Right, there you go.
How are you, mate? What do you think about the game?
Right. Awful first half. Awful. Second half, I think it was much better. Much better. I thought we had better shape. I thought we looked better. In chances first half, yeah, we should have took them, definitely. Willick the Pillock, as my dad used to call him. Gordon, wait, what can we say about him? The last caller put it right. Why? Just falling down for no reason. Nah, that's not good enough. Second half, I thought we were much better. Fair enough, I heard the commentary and the lad was saying, oh, the City just took the foot off the gas. But we had our chances in that game. And them players, if they can't take the chances, they can't eat the dinner, then we're gonna struggle, because you've got to take your chances against top teams, against any team. You've got to take your chances. The chances don't come few and far between, man. But the shape in the second half, I thought was much better. I sound like Eddie Howe. It was a much better performance.
You're defending the indefensible.
What did you think of when he came on, mate? What did you think? What did you think of his performance? I mean, I think we'll watch one more. We'll all have the same thing with that. But will Wissa, his performance in the second half? What do you think of him when he came on?
Way better. He was getting, but just didn't take his chances, man. Is that match sharpness or what? Or has he lost 2 yards? Is he trying to play Eddie Way completely compared to how he played? Like, people have already made things about him, about how he was getting fed better chances when he was playing for last season, that when he scored all them goals. I don't know. I'm not a tactician, but I just think it was a much better second half performance. That's all I want to say anyway. That's all I want to say. I thought, it was a big task. It was a big ask. Everyone's saying, the first goal. Wait, they scored 3. Wait, I tell you what was worrying me. Like, after the first goal, we were still pushing and pushing and pushing, which you're going to do, but them gaps were appearing all the time. So the second and third goal was like, oh, not again. Like, have we not learned that from last week?
Yeah.
Like, our previous games, that's where Eddie needs to, make tactical changes then to say, right, you need to set up this way now. This is not working. Because the second half was a completely different tactic, and yet we had more of the ball, but was that just City sitting off? Do you know what I mean? It's like one of them.
I think the problem is, mate, with the first half, in regards to that, Eddie once we conceded a goal, he was in a no-win situation in that he had to keep going forward because he had to try to get a goal. But on the other side of the coin, City are City. So as soon as we give them any glimpse of a chance, they're going to take it. So to be fair to him a little bit, there was that. But I think the other side of the coin is as well, what you have to say is, all the people who wanted to keep Eddie beforehand and wanted Eddie to stay in the club and, fought to keep him and were commenting on it, I think they begin to reap what they sow. You realise his frailties, and that's exactly where we are now with it.
But I had a piece about that last week. I'm not interested in all that. It doesn't matter, because they make a decision, and what they're going to do, they're all commented on it, and season ticket holders are commenting on it. What they're going to do, get the big bounce before the end of the season. Mm-hmm. What, a new manager bounce before the end of the season? Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah. Well, it's a great conversation to have at this moment, though.
Get the Eddie Howe bounce instead.
The Eddie Howe bounce.
Yeah, Eddie Howe bounce.
Brian Quinn, thank
Win
you
ain't
for
got a clue when to
17
read
months
the
of membership. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Quinn. Appreciate it. Win doesn't know how. Oh, by the way, did he put up a comment then? Because he must have put up a comment.
No,
and
no,
unfortunately,
I had a look because he didn't get his prediction in.
No, what are you on about, man? When people say that, it's because they put in the celebration of their membership. Hey, there we go. Brian Quinn, very disappointing, but the lads and lasses in the away end did us credit. Thank you very much for being a member for 17 months, mate. And that's what happened. Unfortunately, on the system, we cannot see that. It doesn't glow up. It doesn't get highlighted. However, thank you for reminding us. And that's what it means when, again,
we are knackered.
Just like the team. Steve,
I'll tell you what, mate.
Last thoughts, mate.
Last word. Tell you what, last word, if you don't mind. If results or if football was based on fans, we'd be winning everything, mate. Because our fans are just the best in the world. I've done it for years.
We were out there, but the thing about it is it can be very deceiving that when it comes to the sentiment, the proper sentiment.
Hold on a minute. You see that empty stadium?
But let me finish what I'm saying. You got to let me finish what I'm saying.
Cup after cup, and the stadium's emptying, man.
But you got to let me finish what I got to say, though. You going to let me finish what I got to say, or you just going to speak over me?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, it's very deceiving. Them shouting Eddie Howe's Black and White Army, I guarantee you, they do it because of what it means to be a Newcastle supporter. Credit to what you're saying. But a lot of them right now, some of them don't mean what they were chanting about. So it can be deceiving. It can sound like Eddie Howe's Black and White Army. But trust me, a lot of them right now, if you ask them in private, they're not really thinking Eddie Howe's Black and White Army. You understand what I'm saying?
We had Bobby Black and White Army.
It went over your head. It went over your head. That's fine. I'm just saying, the fans go out there for the shirt, for Newcastle United. And they're going to chant and they're going to be loud.
Absolutely.
But a lot of them are not happy with what they're seeing right now. And trust me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can say that, actually. Yeah, I can say. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Because I know.
How do you know?
Because I know.
No, it's just you've got.
No. I know.
How do you know? How many of those
first of all, it's also
how many of those fans
it's also
did you know?
Many of them actually. You wouldn't know because you try to belittle everybody that's not from Newcastle, but not me. I know. I just know that I know. How about that? And you also insulted all the three. And you also insulted 3.5 hundred people watching right now because they're not Toon fans to you, right? They're not Toon fans. They're just online trolls. They're just online trolls. So what they say doesn't mean anything, right?
No, you're saying that those fans chanting Eddie Howe's Black and White Army at Man City all one
because they have to do that. They're fans. They're going out there to support.
Granted,
but they're not. So they're not happy with this rubbish that they're watching week in and week out. That's my point.
Granted, if you don't mind.
But it's part of the fact as well, when you go and do your interviews before the match, no fan's going to come out before a match and say, we want the manager out. It's just not the good thing to do. So, those interviews are kind but I'm saying those interviews are kind of pointless because nobody's going to do it on a match day. I think once they've went away and thought about it, a lot of the fans, even in the ground now, want rid of him.
Anyway, regardless, Steve,
can I just have the last word, if you don't mind?
Last thoughts, Steve. Last thoughts.
Last thoughts, Chris. You've been to home games, but the best thing in the world for a fan is an away game. The best day out is an away day. You get something different, something unbelievable, and you've got to experience that.
Yeah, I like home, though. I always like home, always have, and I think that's better than away, to be honest. But that's just my opinion.
No.
It is what it is. But
away days are the best.
Nah, St. James's Park nights are nothing like it, man. And some season ticket holders take it for granted. A few next to me. But anyway, Steve, thank you very much indeed, mate. Appreciate you.
Hey, good night, God bless.
Cheers, buddy. Have a good one. Call us now and have your say. 0191-916-8864. We still got a long way on this show. Give us a call and have your say. Darren Mills having a go at me. Chris knows nothing. That's fine. That's fine. It is what it is. But I'm saying that's your opinion, and I respect that. But at the end of the day,
that's your opinion. You don't know.
No, Win, you don't speak about what I know, because you don't know what I know. It's as simple as that.
I know what you don't know.
No, you ain't got a clue. You ain't got a clue. Now, again, if you really believe that those fans, 100% of those fans, just because they go away, they absolutely are blindly in love with what's going on right now. Did I say that? Then you're daft. It's just as simple as that. Well, then they stop going at what I said. I said a lot of those fans that are chanting, and they're great fans because they go out there and support the team because they have to. No, that's their job. But at the end of the day, a lot of those is just pride. They're gonna go out there and gonna sing anyway. If you go to the game at home, you're gonna go out there and sing anyway. You're gonna do that. I went to a home game sitting in the Gallagher West corner with Jamie, and there were people losing their minds behind me. Why is Eddie not doing that? Why is Eddie not taking him out? And in the same token, Eddie Howe's Black and White Army. So, let's not make it as if these are just zombies that go to the stadium, because you are disrespecting the fans, saying that they're too thick, pretty much, to realize what's going on.
You're the one that's disrespecting.
That's what I'm. No, I'm not actually. No, I'm not. They are smart fans that realize they have a job to do, because we are.
Your opinion.
No. Regardless, anyway, you're taking away from what we should be talking about, which is the game tonight, and that was rubbish once again. Not that you lose against Man City, not that you got eliminated by Man City, because that's the easy cop out. Just put the title out there. You got eliminated by Man City, therefore nothing to complain, right? But that's not the case, because you went out there, you beat Man City many times. You gave them a good go many times. That didn't happen tonight whatsoever. So we can't act as if everything is great and we'll give it a go again. It's Man City. They eliminated us. Not a big deal.
Is that what I've said?
It pretty much. You're giving that attitude. You're pretty much giving that attitude. No, that's fine. You can say that. That's okay.
Random access says you're right. There's a lot of discontentment. I hear it.
Was it? Go on. There's a lot of discontent.
Yeah.
Chris is right. There is just super chatted. Chris is right. There's a lot of discontent. I hear it.
Yeah, it's.
I hear a lot of discontent as well.
There you go. So, and those same people that are having a lot of, that's exactly what I'm saying. There's a lot of discontent. You agree with that. But those fans will also go out there and sing their hearts out because they have to. They're not going to go out there and say, sack the manager in the morning unless it's absolutely warranted. And that would be an extreme situation anyway. Gary Moncola is now. Gary, how are you, mate?
I'm all right. How are you? Did you have a good trip over, Chris?
I did, man. You didn't want to see me.
No, I was lying low, mate. I was lying low. It just coincided, but I had my reasons, but unfortunately. But if you pay for me air flight, I'll come over to your place and you can put us up for a fortnight and buy all me drink.
There you go.
Oh, that'll be the deal.
So what do you think? What do you think
listen, about the game? You know all this hysteria, right? That's going on with Eddie Howe. We do well in the Champions League, and everybody's happy as Larry, and then we'll have a game like tonight, and it's Eddie doesn't know what he's doing, blah blah. And I've said this before, right? And I bag Eddie Howe, but what people have got to realise, right, instead of all just flipping these knee-jerk reactions, is they just need a shot of reality, which is we are a sort of, I don't know, a team that can get into Europe, right, and get into a European place. We've got a squad that once we get hit with a few injuries is depleted and weak. So we can't compete at the level that we need to sustain things. So we're basically like, look where we are in the league, I mean, you've got teams like Brentford and what have you, that are above us, and there's a reason for that. So what people need to realise is when our team get hit with injuries, we suffer. We can't keep up the consistency that we need to in order to achieve the things that everybody seems to be demanding and seems to think that, should just be automatically happening. And so when we come up against these teams like Chelsea and Arsenal and Man City, the weaknesses get shown up, right? People need to get it in their heads that we're not there yet. We're not ready to compete with these teams. We are a team that is still and a squad that is still building. And we know the reasons why we can't splash out money willy-nilly. And so people just need to get off Eddie's back and stop looking for people to blame. Yes, we're going to have terrible performances, but also we have great performances. So therefore, we haven't got the consistency, but the doom and gloom that goes on is absolutely ridiculous, and people need to be realistic about what's going on at the club.
Gary, with all due respect, mate, you're going at fans because it's all doom and gloom. We lost 5-1 when we didn't even try, man. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I know that. But at the same time, a couple of games ago, we had a great result and everybody was happy, right? That's my point is we haven't got the squad, right, and the strength of squad to maintain the quality that a team like Man City have. They can put on basically half the reserve team and still put in a sterling performance and do something like this to you. And what this does is displays the gap between them and us, right? And until we get a squad that is strong enough to compete, you can't blame the players. Some of them players that are on the pitch tonight were absolutely dead on their feet. And you're asking far too much. And think about the quality of players we've got to the quality of players that other teams have got, right? There's a reason why Joe Willock doesn't play for Arsenal or Man City or any, one of the top teams of Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, right? There's a reason why Jacob Ramsey doesn't play for the same teams that I've mentioned. There's a reason why half our squad don't play for bigger teams. It's because that's the level they're at. And that makes us the level that we are at as a club and a squad. So expecting us to go and be world beaters every bloody game and go and beat the best in the Premiership and win cups and stuff, I think people are just, they need to sit back and have a good think about, what's going on inside their own heads. It'll come right, but you know what the restrictions are with PSR and stuff like that.
But the CEO said we have PSR problems.
You have to be patient.
Hold on, Gary. But the CEO came out today and said, "Go on."
You can't justify that the night though, Gary. In regards to, I get what you mean about players, and we're not having the best of squads. As good a squad as City, and I completely agree with you on that. But we didn't try. We weren't pushing. But it was more the performance than that.
What was it? I know, but the thing is,
you can't just say, that it's down to, the fact we haven't got the money. It's not down to the fact we haven't got the money that we didn't try in that game or we didn't have the right tactics. That's down to the players and down to Eddie Howe end of the day.
But also, you said Gary, you said that we have money problems, but the CEO came out today and he said we have money. It's just that we didn't find the right target. I mean, Eddie Howe is the opposite. So which one is saying the truth?
Well, that's another case, right? And that's thrown sort of conspiracy.
I mean, I would assume the CEO would know the finances over
what he's saying was they didn't find it right. They didn't find the player that would have fit right now. But I'm not defending it, right? What I'm doing is I'm saying, I mean, what somebody in the chat there is just saying I'm living in la land, right? I'm not, you know. If you think that you're going to turn this round by just throwing money at it, which we can't actually do, you just got to be patient and let the structure, let the club build it up. And the CEO who was getting interviewed the day, what's his name again?
David Hutchinson.
Yeah, he was saying some really good things actually, you know, and he's got a realistic grip on it, and we'll have to, you know, see how things pan out. But
anyway,
all this, like the result was terrible, blah blah blah. Right? You can't. I mean, just you know, you try and do what they're doing. Two games a week, right? They're absolutely knackered. They've got they're banging their heads against the wall half the time, and so how, you know, it's what you're asking of them. Actually, I don't think is mentally or physically possible, to be honest, Bogey.
Yeah. Gary, thank you very much for calling us, mate. Appreciate your takes. And yeah, the one thing that you did is calmed us all down. So there you go, with those soothing tones. You definitely did. So thank you very much, brother. Appreciate you. We'll see each other next time.
Does that mean I'm not living in la land and I am the voice of reason?
Well, your tones helped out, definitely. But anyway, I don't agree with a lot of what you said, but it's all right. See you later, mate. Take care.
Well, you never do, Chris. You never do.
Never do.
See you later. Right?
See you later. Darren Mills, super chat there. Win is a proper Geordie through and through. Backs his team through it all. Go to bed, Chris. Here's the thing. Again, now that Gary's done one thing, which is calmed us down, fans, my take on this, what I said earlier, it's not disrespecting fans. Actually, I'm bigging them up. Because they're not going to go out there and boo and whistle and in detriment of the team, even if they are not happy with what's going on. They're going to cheer. They're going to chant. They're going to sing. They're going to cheer. They're going to boo the referee. I've seen it. They're going to do it, right? But that is what fans, supporters go out there to do. Back the team through thick and thin when you go out there to the stadium, away or home. That's the job, really. And we have a pride as Newcastle fans against other teams that we are the best fans in the world. So that's a thing. And regardless of what's going on, unless it's absolutely criminal what's going on, which was Ashley back in the day, Bruce to a certain extent, then people are going to voice their discontent. And they're going to cancel the tickets. And they're going to take those measures because backing them ain't working no more. But right now with Eddie Howe, they're not going to do that. They're not going to go out there and whistle. They're not going to go out there and do something that's detrimental to the team.
They're certainly not going to go out and cancel their tickets.
They're not going to cancel the tickets, of course, right now. I mean, imagine. So that's what I mean. It's not disrespecting the fans. I'm bigging them up because they're proper fans, away or home. I'd much rather be at home, by the way, because I like St. James's Park. But that's a preference. I'm saying that regardless of how they feel, they're not gonna whistle. They're not gonna boo. See, the only season ticket holder that we had here for a long time was Mighty Win, and according to him, everybody was in love and everything else. Then we start bringing other season ticket holders in. Kevin the other night told us at home they were booing a substitution. Win says, I never heard that, but the rest did. So which one is it? You see what I'm saying? It's happening. I wouldn't like it for old fans to just boo and because that is, and I've said it here many times, the moment I see a fan booing from the get-go, I'll chin him right there. Because that's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to back the team on match day. Unless, again, it's absolutely catastrophic, that might be a solution. That's what I mean. And that's fine. You know, me and Darren Mills, we were mates in the Friday Neat Show. Now he doesn't like me. It's just an up and down relationship with many of you. You know why with the super chat there. Squad can't cope with injuries. Whose fault is that? Well, there's many people that could be at fault, and Gary Mohan tells us we can't look at people's a fault and this guy's fault, that guy's fault. We can't do that. But I say, why not? We're just here to talk about what's going on. You know what I mean?
What I would say, Chris, is if you look back to the start of the season, in the first few months, I was saying when Eddie was playing the same team week in, week out, we need to start rotating. We need to rotate players because it'll hit with later in the season. And it's exactly what's happened. You've got to learn that if you're playing in 4 competitions, you've got to constantly rotate players. But he didn't do that at the start of the season. And Wynne argued that we should play the same team week in, week out if it's winning. You shouldn't. You should. It's a big.
Well, I was part of that, by the way. I was part of that as well. Who remembers Sam Allardyce's Black and White Army? That was back in.
I can remember. We're not Bolton Wanderers. We're not Bolton Wanderers.
That's right, baby. That's right. And he managed Newcastle after Bolton, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's but he's been there for 20,000 years though. That's what we thought he was good.
Did a great job. Eddie Howe at Bournemouth. He was absolutely fun.
He wasn't at Bournemouth.
Bolton Wanderers.
Yeah, Bolton. Yeah.
Remember when you put
Bolton and I was over the moon when we got him to replace Souness. I was absolutely over the moon. I thought he's gonna.
We open up another tab so Wynne doesn't have to talk about tonight's performance. Let's not talk about Allardyce anymore, man. It's
say about tonight's performance, man.
Well, there isn't.
What annoyed me about tonight's performance more than anything was what Bogey's referenced, which is the lack of fight. And this is apparent now.
There you go.
This is apparent in game after game after game, where whenever there's a ball drops into a cluster of players in the middle of the park, it's the opposition who come away with the ball.
But when you reap what you sow there, because you fought all season as hard as you can to keep Eddie in place, apart from your little slip up after the Man United match, you fought to keep that guy in. You fought to keep that guy in place. I've said June, January, up till January, I would have got rid. Now I've said, obviously, I'll stick with him because there's no chance of it happening towards the end of the season. But from now to the end of the season, it's all down to you lot, who's been all the happies in regards to, if wherever we end up, it's down to you guys because you're the guys that have fought to keep him in place.
Absolutely. And what I've said is he will stand or fall by his results.
Yep, exactly.
Tony T's saying, admonishing Chris, he's saying, we do not condone violence. So forget about all this chinning people, you thug.
Yeah. And by the way, Kenny, I didn't say they will cancel the tickets over Howe, or I don't know what you're trying to say there. That wouldn't. But
listen, once
hold on, Darren, the chin. The fact that you use, Chris, the expression, I'll chin you. You're back in the good books. All good. Well, no, but the thing is, I've said this many a time, by the way. Even when I was on my bedwetter's worst moments, I've said if a fan starts booing and whistling at players or whatever, that's not good, man. Because you go in there to support, no matter what, and then you can get on the show and voice what you need to say. Obviously, you know what I mean. And listen, we're all fans, man. I've seen. Somebody called me I'm just an armchair fan. Some of them say that's your entitled to your opinion. I live in America. I have no choice but to be an armchair fan. However, I travel to Newcastle every year, and then I suddenly don't become an armchair fan anymore. So it's listen, man. Fans are going to support the team, regardless of what. Right there.
Eventually.
Well, eventually going to get there, but it's not
in the stadium. Will turn if things don't improve.
No, but the thing they won't turn on Eddie Howe
like that. Happens, then he will be out tomorrow.
But the thing is, what you never do, and you're right, Chris, is when you say about booing and shouting at players or shouting down the manager before a game, never ever do that. On a match day, you're a Newcastle United supporter and you go into that ground or you sit at home and you support the team. As you say afterwards, that's then free reign. But before any match, you support the team and you support the manager, is my view.
Yeah, that's true. Let me go some star comments from the night, ladies and gents, and see what's going on out there. Boomer says, our team is calamitous, missing open goals, 1 versus 1, and every interception, tackle, clearance, our defense made went for City. Niall Powell there, when you should have stayed Eddie out, the iceberg is coming for Eddie. Christina Cage, Eddie Howe had been listening to me too much if he thought we were still in that game. There you go. Tony says here, Boki, can't you just understand a city or streets ahead of us over 2-leg tie? Yes, we have gone backwards and need change. Well, then you're agreeing with Boki, I guess. You're agreeing or disagreeing?
Tony has to ring in and talk to me one day because he calls us out in the chat all the time, but then puts in the comments what he's.
No, this is another. This is another Tony. This is another Tony, not the. This
is
that
a different Tony? All right.
Yeah, a new Tony, I may add. So everybody out there, we didn't even remind you. Become a member of the show. Help the channel out. Different opinions. All kinds of Newcastle fans here. You're not gonna get one-sided conversation. Never.
Super chat, thank you. In or out, it just shows the passion we all have.
Exactly.
There you go. Flynn says he threw Murphy into the fire against Liverpool. Murphy, where was he at?
He was at left back. We are knackered.
Dude, I literally, I saw him one time and then Flynn just mentioned him. That's it. 2 times I've known of Murphy tonight. Jen No says, who does the finishing drills at the club? Please, better finishers in League One. They're from the.
I think he's not on the boot.
No, the League One. Yeah, I know. Adrian Pickett, what about mutually agreeing to part ways? No, it's not going to happen. And I still believe.
Another super chat from Darren saying, I've got nothing against anyone on this channel. I just love the tune. Thank you, Darren.
Well, you're part of this channel now. You're not even a member yet, though, Darren Mill. You super chat a lot, man. Just become a member. Enjoy exclusive content. Don't miss out. Become a member so you can enjoy the player ratings coming up next. Well, coming up in the next few hours. And
the
Chris
town hall
is
on Friday, 7 o'clock.
We do have the town hall on Friday, so all members can have their say on what's going on, if they like what's going on with the channel and all that. So join us for that one as well, right after the Friday Neat Show.
Members only show with that one.
Niall Powell, Chris is hobnobbing now he has to deal with the minions, Becca. I'm not sure what that means. But
with your hobnobbing with Hutchinson and Alan Shearer.
Hopkinson, man. No, listen. To be fair, when I didn't meet Dan Byrne, I met his dad. I talked to his dad for a few hours though.
Back in Boogie, you know your Tonys.
He's upset about that one.
Sorry, Tony.
Anyway, Colton Connors, Walter Missa and Missa. Walter Missa and Missa up that. Not good. No, my point on that hobbing or whatever that means, it's just that, to be fair, when you do get to talk to people and they tell you, look, this is why it happened and that's what's happening, then it's human nature to just say, well, that makes sense. That's it. But there's no, none of that stuff. I'll still be I'm the American Mac, baby. You better believe it. That's I'm me. I can't be nothing else. Animal Lecter, he's gone end of the season guaranteed. They have money, but don't trust Eddie with it. Eddie's target at the start of the season was Europe or sacked, and the CEO knows and was told it, says Animal Lecter from the Midlands. Jen No says, who does the finish? Oh, we read that one. You know why? You can't say we missed 3 or 4 easy chances and then claim we produced nothing. Darren Mills, don't agree with Chris. Take that. Oh, yeah, that's the one I started, and we talked about that one. I'm not saying they're lying, by the way. But when you work for a big media company, you can't just go out there and say, this guy, sack this guy, Eddie Howe. We can't do the Tiger Studios. Get out there, get paid by Sky and go out there and Eddie out. No, you can't do that. Tony T question: have we all heard from Howe yet? What you heard after that? We did hear from. Still by that. The positive for me this game was Wizza looked sharper. Walter Mata battled harder. Ilanga looked up for it. That's my opinion, right or wrong. Mark Thorpe. Pillock should have been sold. Missa, well, not to say other than money wasted. Gordon needs to go. The only ones who deserve the applause were the NUFC fans. Exactly. And that's why I'm bigging them up. Because they're the only, because that's the thing about it, though, man. The club knows that they're going to be there day in and day out. That's why it's hard. It's hard because, for Toon fans to turn their back like we did against, Ashley and them, it took a lot. Travoy says Eddie Howe is delusional and he's got to go. He's a liar. Both Hopkinson and Wilson said money was there. They should know Eddie. They deal with that inside the football club. Well, that's Travoy's opinion. Strasbourg Steve, we folded and then we quit. Olfer says from Iceland, things will get worse before it gets better. Random access. Oh, you got a super chat there. Sorry, go on.
Yep. It's Darren again. I wish I could be a member, but not got the time. Work far too much. Hope the channel kicks on big time. Thank you.
You were here all the time. You were here all the time, mate. And you super chat big time. You could just be a member. But anyway, appreciate you anyways, mate. Thank you very much.
By member, Darren, what we mean is you can hit the little membership.
Oh, hit the join button below and get exclusive content, exclusive perks. Yeah, that's what we mean. You're going to get exclusive videos, live shows, everything on demand, etc. So that's what we mean. Not like
But if ever you do want to be a member of one of the panels, just let us know and we'll get you on. No problem.
100%.
Yeah, but just hit that join button below and become a member of the channel. Random access is it's as if Howe genuinely doesn't see how bad things are. He really just doesn't get it. Dog Water, he's done great, but football doesn't stand still.
Time for a change.
The weird letterings. Yeah, there we go. How will the people type that? Type like that. Let me see. Chris is he's talking about Lee Clark, wasn't he? Yeah. That was when Darren didn't like me at the time, but now he's back. Another super chat there. Now, Boki, do you think Hopkinson shot himself in the foot?
I think it maybe proves that Hodgkinson isn't here for the long term.
Hopkinson, man.
Hopkinson, sorry, isn't here for that's him. Isn't here for the long term.
No, but that. But
what
why?
He said because is there any realistic chance of us winning the Premier League by 2030?
But he didn't say Premier League. He talked about being elite, an elite conversation. That's what he said. By the way, go on, finish.
Did he actually say anything that he promised what's going to happen or said what's going to happen? It was.
Well, as a matter of fact, they were going out and says, in the next 10 years, and he said, no, 10 years is too much, too long. We need to put a shorter target, 5 years, which would be 2030, and by then we should be competing for the big stuff. I mean, we don't know if it's true or not.
We'll clip this and talk about it in 4 years' time.
There you go. Mansell, the CEO, said we had money to spend, and Howe said no money to spend. Howe is well known for being a liar. He has lied plenty since he's been there, says Mansell. Ambient noises. Tonali will leave in the summer, 100%. Well, that's another topic right there.
Come on,
Kenny,
City.
Why are so-called supporters saying Villa, Brentford, and everyone got going to beat us? What fan says that? I don't know who said that. NTL says they outshouted City fans. You could hear it, Chris, tonight. The ground and City fans were saying. You're agreeing with me. I'm only bigging Newcastle fans up. I didn't say they didn't shout. Irish says I can see that the happy clappers ping drugs and you were fed by win.
Drugs they were fed by win in secret.
Finally left Chris's system. No, man, I'm straight down the middle, man. I'm telling you, I don't buy nonsense from either side. I just call it for what it is, literally. Super chat there. No, those are super chats that we had anyway. Lovely show, Connie show, lads. Thank you very much to all the super chatters out there. Thank you, all of you were amazing. Random Access, Tomio, Waza, Olusola, Super Sam earlier on, Darren Mills killing it there in the chat. Jordy Dan, Olusola again, Darren Mills, Queen of Heart, War Captain Bruno. We certainly missed him on the pitch tonight. Sean there as well. Thank you very much. Random Access once again. You know why. Tony T, thank you very much. Thank you to all of you. I don't think I forgot anybody there. Thank you very much for your support. And next one.
What's that?
The last one was as well. Yeah, we'll say that. And next one, Brentford. And that's going to be the easiest game we got. So, and it's at home. So just put it in. And then, if we beat them 4-0, people, we're back. Honky dory. I told you. Bad weather's this. Happy clappers that. Up and down, man. That's the situation. But listen, the greatest part about it is that this channel brings all Newcastle United fans, all of them, doesn't segregate them, puts them all together and have a conversation about what's going on with the Toon. Anyways, we'll see you on the next one, folks. Take care. Highway the lads. Tomorrow, Thursday, Undisputed, early, 11 in the morning, 11:30. Join us for that one. Maybe there'll be a lot to talk about. You can call in and have your say as well. See you later, folks.
11 or 11:30.